question still needs to be answered. Who's gonna follow in Maduro's footsteps? Who? From what I've seen, it should not be that woman.
Now, following the capture of Maduro over the weekend and the end of his horrific regime, the question remains, who will succeed the brutal dictator and bring much-needed change and freedom to the country? One name making headlines is Venezuela's opposition leader, Maria Corina Machado. Remember, she rose to prominence after winning the independently run opposition presidential primary with more than 92% of the vote before Maduro then dictated that she be taken off the ballot. Now, that was only back in 2023. In the hours following the successful raid and the arrest of Maduro, Machado posted on X saying, quote, Venezuelans, the hour of freedom has arrived.
She sold him out. She sold him out. Not that it was wrong. I mean, like she will have a big responsibility. Not saying she can't, but a lot of women can. Men are pieces of shit. Well, there's nothing to debate on that. But like you need a like in every scenario, you need a psychopath who's running the country. And like you need somebody who can grab a bull by its balls. Not quite sure. Like there's just some stuff, bro. But I'm doubtful. But who am I, right? Who am I?
Now, remember, upon winning the 2025 Nobel Peace Prize, Maria dedicated that prize and award to President Trump. She said on X, quote, in part, I dedicate this prize to the suffering people of Venezuela and to President Trump for his decisive support of our cause. But that is far from the only praise she has given President Trump. Now, following his decisive victory against Kamala Harris, she congratulated the president, promised that the rightful democratic government of Venezuela would
She
be.
was already on his side at the elections. You can see it. Yeah. All right.
A reliable ally to the U.S. Now, she was also quick to thank President Trump for his, quote, firmness and determination in upholding the law after Maduro was ousted. In fact, since he won in November of 2024, Maria Corina Machado has thanked President Trump and his support and commended his resolve to help the people of Venezuela many, many times, publicly and on X and elsewhere. She joins us now for an exclusive interview. Maria, it's good to.
All right. We got an exclusive interview with her. I'm stoked. All right. Let's see if she can deliver. Like I said, who am I to judge? Who am I to tell? But I guess I'm somebody. I'm the people. I am part of the people.
See you again. How are you?
I'm fine, and I want to thank you, Sean, you personally, and Fox News for the incredible support you have given throughout all this long journey for the cause of democracy of our people in Venezuela.
Let's go back
Side
to
eye.
2023. You won 92% of the vote to be the opposition leader. Maduro prevented you from being on the ballot. How was he able to do that?
Well, because they absolutely control the judiciary system.
Yeah, control over everything. What kind of dumb question is that? Maybe it switches now, and the man is asking like he's completely delusional and completely asking biased questions. Like, we're playing ping pong. It's a back and forth from every video.
And also the electoral council. So it was difficult. Everybody told us it was impossible to carry independent elections in a primary process. And we were able to bring the country together to carry these elections organized by civil society with millions of people participating. And the fact is that cowardly, he feared us, he feared me, Maduro. So he thought that by banning me, he would stop.
That's always like that. I've got a friend who's creating a business, and like the opposition was not even interested in him until he made like big enough moves, like waves, and then they were interested. Like she was probably considered as not not a threat, and that's always it's always good to be underestimated. That's not a privilege, but like it's a fortile. YouTube translate. It's like always good to be underestimated. Like that what probably she was. I mean, like maybe hey, I can be proven wrong from my initial thought of the at the beginning of the video. Man, you never know. There's some good women out there, good women leader. Like it's like the exception makes the rules. Nah, I'm not the one who makes the rules, right?
Us
So
from
don't blame me, bro.
women, but exactly the opposite happened. Edmundo González Urrutia standing in my place, and we moved all around the country and managed to bring a country together and defeated Maduro by a landslide with
Let me.
incredible under extreme conditions, unfair conditions, Sean.
Well, that was the person.
I mean, I'm glad if they push back on the cartels. Like they really, like they kind of need to. It's getting out of hand, and like some dictators, like Cuba, has to be worried right now as well.
That replaced you and that you're very close to. But let me go back and talk about it. You stayed in the country, but you were hiding within your country until you went to receive the Nobel Peace Prize. And I want you to tell us, you never went back at that point. Did you not go back because you feared for your life? And tell us, I mean, it's not very usual that people will dedicate the Nobel Peace Prize to the leader of a different country and say publicly, he deserves this more than I do. But you did that.
Let me be very clear. As soon as I learned that we had been awarded the Nobel Peace Prize, I dedicated to President Trump because I believed at that point that he deserved it. And a lot of people, most people said it was impossible to achieve what he has just done on
Action are merrier. Like a lot of times, he proves that he can deliver on these actions, and that was a, yeah, I don't know what to think about that question, but like she handled it well. Like he's someone who's not just talking; he's actually moving stuff, right? He's he's generating change. If for the better or the worse, you can be the judge.
Saturday, January 3rd. So if I believed he deserved it on October, imagine now. I think he has proven to the world what he means. I mean, January 3rd will go down in history as the day justice defeated a tyranny. It's a milestone, and it's not only huge for the Venezuelan people and our future. I think it's a huge step for humanity, for freedom and human dignity.
Have you spoken with President Trump since then?
I spoke with President Trump on October 10th, the same day the prize was announced. Not since then, but I do want to say today, on behalf of the Venezuelan people, how grateful we are for his courageous vision, the actions, historical actions he has taken against this narco terrorist regime to start dismantling these.
See, there's we're back at the point again. When it comes to rescuing people and protecting people from narco terrorists, and the cartel is a real threat and a real danger. That's something we don't really notice here in Europe. Cartels, I mean, like yeah, sure they exist, especially at ports in France, Rotterdam. There's some points where they communicate or like handle business with the Colombian cartels and stuff like that. But we don't really notice that. So yeah, like you need to pack the cartel bull by the ball, and like otherwise you get out of hand. And Maduro was behind that. He enabled them, and if he enables terrorism, you gotta go. Doesn't matter.
Structure and bringing Maduro to justice, which means that 30 million Venezuelans are now closer to freedom, but also that the United States of America is a safer country nowadays.
Right. Did you at any point offer to give him the Nobel Peace Prize? Did that actually happen? I had read that somewhere. I wasn't sure if it was true.
Well, it hasn't happened yet, but I certainly would love to be able to personally tell him that we believe the Venezuelan people, because this is a prize of the Venezuelan people, certainly want to give it to him and share it with him. What he has done, as I said, is historic. It's a huge step towards a democratic transition, and I want to convey this to the American people, Sean. A free Venezuela means first a security ally, dismantling the criminal hub of the Americas and turning it into a security shield. You know, the strongest ally to dismantle all these criminal structures that have made, so much damage and harm to our people and to the American people as well. Secondly, we will turn Venezuela into the energy hub of the Americas. We will bring rule of law. We will open markets. We will give security to foreign investment. And third, we will bring millions of
I mean, like never underestimate the willpower, power behind a person's mind. I mean, like you, Nail Bukele, like you've seen it what he did with El Salvador. Um, with Seco and that stuff, bro. So like these countries can change. They actually can. You need somebody who's willing to step up. And Trump always been the enabler in like a good sense. Like he was. Like he was. He has some bullshit that's tied to him. And he done some bullshit. And he has some bullshit view on some topics. But like in that sense and in some other senses, he's a good enabler. You could tell me what whatsoever.
Venezuelans that have been forced to flee our country back home, to build a strong nation, prosperous nations, open society. We will leave behind all the destruction this socialist regime, criminal regime has brought to our people and turn Venezuela into the main ally of the United States in
Let's
Latin
hope so.
America.
You also offered reparations to Lincoln Riley's family and other families that have lost loved ones because of Tren de Aragua. Um, Now the question is, when do you believe that you might make your return to Venezuela? Do you feel safe in doing so? And when you get back, obviously there has got to be stability. And I would assume, and the president has said at the right point, when there's security, that in fact the Venezuelan people then will govern themselves. Are you okay with that transitional plan?
Well, first of all, I'm planning to go back to Venezuela as soon as possible. As I've always said, Sean, every day I make a decision where I am more useful for a cause. That's why I stayed in hiding for over 16 months. And that's why I decided to go out, because I believed that at this moment I'm more useful to our cause, being able to speak out from where I am right now. But I'm planning to go as soon as possible back home. Secondly, what we're seeing right now in the last 24 hours is really alarming. We're seeing an escalation. Just today, an executive order signed by Maduro the same day he was ousted and he was detained. Imagine that, of external commotion has been published. And it mandates persecution and detention of every Venezuelan that supports President Trump's actions. Just today, 14 journalists have been detained. So this is very alarming. This is something that has to be followed carefully, I'm sure, by the United States government and by the Venezuelan people. And certainly, we believe that this transition should move forward. Delcy Rodriguez, as you know, is one of the main architects of torture, persecution, corruption, narco trafficking. She's
Damn.
a main ally and liaison with Russia.
Like she made a she made some good points. I can't wait to see what what she's got cooking.
Trying
I
not to
can't
run,
wait.
certainly not an individual that could be, trusted by international investors, and she's really rejected, repudiated by the Venezuelan people. So we move forward, and as you mentioned, and we won an election by a
Yeah.
landslide under fraudulent conditions. In free and fair elections, we will win with by over 90% of the votes. I have no
Well,
doubt about it.
Maria, Karina, Machado, thank you. Godspeed. Please be safe. Hey, Sean Hannity.
She was confident. She was confident. She, man, I don't know, but she sounds have an election. No more machines. Yeah. Thank you, Sean, for giving the space to me. I mean, like it's not like a normal intrusion into the country. Like they're not overthrowing the government. I mean, like yeah, but with help from within. People are literally screaming for a change, and like if that happens, like Maduro, maybe it's for the better. Maybe it's for the better. Tell me, you guys, what you think. I'm out.